the dough. They done let the scale in the dough. Give me that. Give me that. They done let the scale in the dough. Give me that. They done let the scale in the dough. Give me that. They done let the scale in the dough.
What's going on? We back at it again. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am your host, another than Charles Jackson. Welcome back to High School Final once again here on YouTube. I just got to do my stream on Facebook Live. We're back with my weekly episode of High School Football Final, Week 4 of the 2023 high school football season here in Central Florida. I have all the scores. Well, most of the scores from the North Central Florida area. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell button, let you know when I will be doing another high school football final. We'll probably do it every Friday between 11:30 every Friday night, checking all the scores, what I needed from around the North Central Florida area. But let's hop right into it. Appreciate y'all again. We at the 540 mark of the subscribers. We try to hit 1,000 on my birthday in November. So we got a little over 2 months to get 460 more subscribers. So hit that notification bell, but hit that like, subscribe if you're new. So let's hop on to Week 4 scores for around North Central Florida for high school football final. First, we'll talk about our game of the week down in Hawthorne as the top 2 teams in their classifications. The South Sumter Raiders traveled to Hawthorne. South Sumter's number 2 in the 2S rankings, or 2S Suburban. And then Hawthorne is an defending Class 1R state champions, but they're number 2 in the most recent rankings. Those 2 teams showed down there in Hawthorne. It was a sold-out crowd. I believe the announcer said it was like 2,500 people in attendance. That's real big for a really small school. But back to the game at hand. Hawthorne trailed at 1 point, 21-14 at halftime, but they opened up the second half with a kick return for a touchdown, and they blew the game open. They outscored the Raiders of a final score 42-21. They outscored 27-0 in the second half. Hawthorne gets the big victory to go to 4-0 this season, while South Sumter suffered their first loss. Those 2 teams are definitely going to make deep playoff runs when it comes to later on in November. But Hawthorne takes on PK Young next week down there in Gainesville. Other scores throughout the rest of the state. Bronson took on Oak Hall today down here in Gainesville. Bronson looking for their first victory of the year, and it did not happen as the Eagles trounced the Eagles of Bronson 57-6. Oak Hall was the better Eagle by far. They win 57-6. Bronson falls to 0-4, while Oak Hall goes to 4-0. Pahokee goes down to Palm Beach Central to take on them. And unfortunately, Pahokee's trip was null and void. They fall 35-30. Pahokee falls to 2-2. Wildwood, number 9 in Class 1R's rankings, take on California in an out-of-conference matchup. And it's the Forest Wildcats defeat the Wildwood Wildcats 44-34. Wildwood falls to 1-3, while California go to 3-1. Rivalry new down there in Madison County between Columbia County and Madison County. The Cowboys host the Tigers. Madison County comes in number 3 in the Class 1R rankings. They take on the Tigers of Columbia County. And it's the Cowboys out of Madison. 22-8 victories over Columbia. Madison goes to 2-0 this season, while Columbia fails to get their first victory. They fall to 0-3. PK Young, as we aforementioned, will take on Hawthorne next week at home, but they got to take care of the Tigers in Union County first. Union County come off a tough double overtime loss down there in Fort Walton Beach last Friday night, but the Tigers get revenge. They beat PK Young last year, and the story repeats itself. The Tigers win big. They enter the rankings number 6 in Class 1R. They win 49-12, going away with it. The Tigers will take on Orlando Christian Prep next Friday night, while PK Young go host Hawthorne. The Tigers go to 2-1, while PK suffer their first loss of the season. Creekside and Buchholz meet again, once again, this time in Citizens Field. The Bobcats come in number 2 in Class 4S, and they show why the number 2 in 4S. They win 49-20 over the Knights of Creekside. They win by 29. Buchholz go to 4-0. GHS, what's on the other side of the undefeated column, they're winless in 2023. Their last win came back in 2021. They did not win all 2022, and they have not won that yet in 2023. And it continues. They are still winless After a 35-14 loss to Clay High School, the Purple Hurricanes have lost at least 17 consecutive games dating back to 2021. They'll get their chance again on next Friday against another winless team we'll talk about in a few minutes. Clay goes to 4-1 while GHS falls to 0-4. Santa Fe, the team we're going to talk about now, actually had a chance to win tonight and get their first victory today against North Marion Colts. But Coach Grant Carr and the Colts was not letting that happen. They outscored the Raiders of Santa Fe 24-7 to win 31-10. Tough break for Santa Fe. They played very hard and they fought at 0-4. They have not won since they beat GHS last year in their home field. They'll get that chance again next Friday to take on the Purple Hurricanes in a game that something has to give between GHS and Santa Fe. Both teams are on horrendous losing skids. So hopefully some will win next week at home between Santa Fe and GHS. Elsewhere across the state, Bellevue, the Rattlers, trying to take on the Palatka Panthers. Palatka looking real good this year. They destroyed Santa Fe last week, 48-10. And they took care of business tonight. They beat the Bellevue Rattlers 35-8 as Palatka goes to 3-0 on the season. Ocala Christian takes on Oasis Christian. And Ocala Christian puts up a shutout 30-0 of Oasis. Carrollwood Day takes on Trinity Catholic on the road in Ocala. Trinity Catholic got their first win last week in a shutout over Eastside. That's right. Over a shutout against GHS last week. And the Celtics cannot win 2 games in a row as they fall 28-21 at the hands of Carrollwood Day. Interlochen looking for their first victory of 2023. Last year, they won their conference last year with an undefeated season. Slow start for the Rams this year as they're coming into this matchup against Ferdy the Beach, winless in 2023. And the story still continues as Interlochen has failed to hit the win column. They fall tonight at a shutout at the hands of the Pirates of Ferdy the Beach, 42-0. Interlochen remains winless. Hamilton County coming in their matchup against the 8th-ranked Fort White Indians out of Class 1R, and Fort White held serve at home 49-0. Fort White goes 3-0. They have a showdown with number 1 ranked Williston next week at home. Hamilton County falls to 1-2. They take on Bell next Friday night. Speaking of Bell, they'll take on Hamilton County next Friday, but they had to take care of the Keystone Heights Indians today, and last week Keystone Heights got embarrassed after his at Eastside 35-0. But Keystone get their first victory of the year. They took care of Bell easily, 49-0 as well. They shut out the Bulldogs, and Keystone Heights go to 1-2, while Bell falls to 0-4. Number 7 in Class 1R, the Chiefly Indians travel to take on the Lafayette Hornets in a big-time matchup between the Hornets and the Indians. But as the Indians going home happy, winning 22-13, Chiefly gets back at 500 at 2-2, while Lafayette falls their first game of the year to 2-1. Hilliard makes a long-distance travel from Jacksonville to Brantford to take on the Buccaneers of Brantford. Brantford coming in a strong 2-0 start. A quiet 2-0 for the Brantford Buccaneers. Brantford answering the call from Hilliard. It was a back-and-forth matchup between the Pirates and the Flashes. But the Buccaneers get the big-time victory. They buck on to a 21-18 victory over the Flashes. Hilliard falls under 500 to 1-2, while Brantford keeps their undefeated season going at 3-0. Monroe Day takes on Swanee down there in Live Oak, and as the Bulldogs take care of business 40-6 over Monroe Day, Swanee remains undefeated at 4-0. Calvary Christian, this is a game between Calvary Christian and Newberry. People thought Newberry was supposed to run them over, because they're the better school. But not so fast. Calvary Christian came out strong. And they held the lead late in the game. But Newberry comes back with 10 unanswered late to win 24-21. Newberry is down 3-1 after that. 2 weeks ago, they lost to Hawthorne County. They rev off 2 straight wins to go to 3-1. And Calvary Christian falls under 500 to 1-2. Lake Weir bringing their undefeated season into Winter Haven, Florida. Into Lakeland to take on the George Jenkins team. Both teams came where they are, but George Jenkins survives 18-14. George Jenkins is now 5-0, while Lake Weir falls to 2-1. Leesboro, Ocala, another good one battle between 2 undefeated teams down there in Ocala. And Leesboro goes back home disappointed except for their first loss of the year. They lose 42-20 at the hands of Vanguard. Vanguard keeps their undefeated season line at 4-0, while the Hornets of Leesburg falls to 3-1. Dixie County traveling to take on We Will Hitchcock tonight down there in the Panhandle, and a big win for the Bears. They make the long distance trips a success, winning 28-0, a shutout. Dixie County goes to 3-1, while We Will Hitchcock falls under 2 games under 500 at 1-3. The aforementioned number 1 ranked team in Class 1 are the Williston Red Devils, taking on the Denver Tigers, and it was an easy breezy win for the Red Devils as they hold serve as number 1 team in Class 1R. They win 42-12 over the Tigers at Denellen. Denellen falls to 1-2, while Williston goes to 4-0. They have a showdown next week in Fort White against the number 8th ranked team in Class 1R, the Fort White Indians. That's going to be a good game next week. Eastside taking on Bradford. Eastside coming in before they lost last week. The Buchholz, they was 2-0. Great serve from Eastside. Then Buchholz brought them down to earth last week, 35-0. Now they're trying to get the revenge at the hands of Bradford, who's coming in hot as well. And as hot as they remain, Bradford knocks off Eastside 34-7. Eastside falls 2 straight games. They're back at 500 at 22-2. Bradford goes to 4-0. Both teams go into a bye week, heading into week 5. Final game on the week schedule will be Dixie County doing a remake game against Trenton. That game will take place on the 18th at 7:30 in Trenton. That game was postponed a few weeks ago during the Hurricane Idalia. That game's getting made up as Dixie County has a short week. They take on Trenton on Monday. Let's go ahead and get to our week 5 games. And we have it written down slated. We got Palm Beach Gardens against Pahokee. Hawthorne takes on PK Young. Hilliard at Crescent City. Dixie County at Jefferson County on Friday. So they got 2 games in a week. They got a Monday night game against Trenton and a Friday night game at Jefferson County. Florida High against Madison County. Orlando Christian Prep against Union County. Bluntstown against Taylor County. Chiefland at Newberry. Zarephath against Lafayette. Williston, the showdown against Fort White. The Paxton School out of Jacksonville against Brantford. Lake Weir at Trenton. Hamilton County at Bell. Trinity Catholic against Rains. Monroe Day against Tallahassee Lincoln. St. Paul John II. St. John Paul II against Leon. Santa Fe against GHS in one of my 2 games of the week. The other game of the week will be Williston against Fort White. Ocala Vanguard at Buchholz. That's another great game that's going to show up. Who's going to get their first loss of the year? Oak Hall against Eagles View out of Jacksonville. Bronson against the First Academy out of Orlando. Interlochen against Keystone. Trinity Catholic the rebound against Rains out of Jacksonville. Swanee versus North Marion. And Westport at Gateway. Well, I appreciate everybody those who came in tonight. Those are all my games I have for tonight. Tune in to next week as we'll come here next Friday night. Hopefully Santa Fe and GHS will give us the game of the season because they got nothing else. Neither team has nothing to lose. Someone has to get their first victory of 2023 between GHS and Santa Fe. Other teams in the state, I hope they get their first wins. Interlochen looking for their first victory. Bronson looking for their first victory. So hopefully next week somebody will have their first win of the season between those 4 schools. I appreciate also Bellevue is also in that same category. So good luck to those teams next week. We'll be here once again Friday night with all the scores, including Dixie County and Trenton on Monday night. We'll have that game for next Friday night's High School Football Final Week 5 edition. And we'll be back next Friday night here on the channel. So like, subscribe if you're new. We're trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. So help me get there. Like, subscribe if you're new. Spread the word to everybody. Hit the notification bell button if you're new. Appreciate y'all guys. Thanks y'all for tuning the High School Football Final. I'm your host, Charles Jackson. Have a safe and blessed weekend. Go Gators. Beat the Vols.
They done let the scale in the dough. They done let the scale in the dough. They done let the scale in the dough. Give me that. Give me that. They done let the scale in the dough. Give me that. They done let the scale in the dough.